Hello everyone and welcome back to another video from everyone's favorite Halo YouTuber. Last week we received the newest installment of Inside Infinite and it was stacked full of new information on Halo Infinite. I've said before how I found the Inside Infinite updates boring, but this one was actually really good in my opinion. I actually read it this time. I don't want to go into a full overview of the blog since everyone and their mother already did that, and you can go read it if you actually are interested. But it mostly touched on how Halo Infinite is being built from the ground up as a PC title, and they show off a bunch of ultra-wide screenshots. But what I really wanted to talk about was a more subtle mention while addressing the anti-cheat system in Halo Infinite. When referring to the Halo Infinite anti-cheat, Mike Romero says, "If we do our job right, in combination with our TrueSkill 2 ranking system, everyone will be able to trust they're getting a fair shake in the crossplay system." TrueSkill 2 is Microsoft's skill-based matchmaking system that is implemented in Halo 5. You play placement games, get placed in divisions such as Bronze or Silver all the way through Onyx, and then you either go up or down based on if you win. While this is a very subtle mention, I believe this is confirmation that the nostalgic 1 to 50 ranking system is not going to be in Halo Infinite. Can I get some Fs in the comments? While I personally didn't expect the 1 to 50 system to make a comeback, I am still disappointed. It seemed that there was at least a chance it would return, with Halo Infinite clearly being a reboot of the series, with a lot of callbacks to past Halo games. This, alongside the fact that they chose to use a 1 to 50 ranking system in the Master Chief Collection, and it seemed like 343 was coming around on the idea. However, there were plenty of problems with the 1 to 50 system. Bungie opted to go with a TrueSkill ranking system in Halo Reach for a reason. They cited plenty of issues such as deranking, boosting, and don't forget selling 50 accounts since the ranks were permanent and didn't reset. It was also tough to gauge your opponents. Sure, you might both be level 50, but there could still be a huge gap in skill. For example, there's a huge difference between someone who literally never loses in matchmaking versus bozos like myself who occasionally would lose their level 50. Maybe you have a bad week and drop back down to 47 before battling back up to 50. With TrueSkill 2, once you hit the highest division of Onyx, there is a visible CSR that shows your ELO rank. Sure, your opponent is also in Onyx, but their 2000 CSR shows that they're a lot more competent than you at 1600 CSR. I also feel like developers think that having the inevitable seasons alongside TrueSkill that reset every few months or so helps drive player retention. In their eyes, once the new season starts, players will come back to the game to try and get their rank back, as opposed to a 1 to 50 system where a player might get their 50 in a playlist and just never play it again, either in fear of losing their 50 or because they don't have an incentive to keep playing. However, I'm not sure if I agree with this. It can be frustrating to work all season for a rank that you're proud of just to have it reset at the end of a season. And if you're really ambitious and want to get the highest rank in each playlist, it would be exhausting to try and keep that up every single month or 3 months, however long the seasons are. I have found myself in the past shying away from certain ranked playlists just because I know I'm not really going to grind that playlist for this season, and I don't want to sit there with 4 games played all season. Maybe that's a little OCD of me, but I'm more inclined to try to get the highest rank in every playlist if I know I'll be able to show it off to people. And I think for a more casual audience that want a bit of a challenge but isn't really that dedicated to getting better, they might see their rank reset and think, what did I just play all those games for? And just abandon ranked playlists entirely. Another thing mentioned in this blog post that kind of disappointed me was restricting competitive playlists based on input type, not on platform. This means if you're playing on an Xbox using a controller, you can match people on PC using a controller, but not a keyboard and mouse. And if you're using a keyboard and mouse on Xbox Series X, since apparently it supports that, you match with people on PC using a keyboard and mouse. This frustrates me for 2 reasons. One being that one of my friends I regularly play with prefers to play on keyboard and mouse, but I prefer playing on controller. So that means in Halo Infinite, one of us will have to concede and play with an input device we don't prefer, or we'll be stuck mollywopping blind kids in social for all of eternity. Don't get me wrong, that's a ton of fun, but it gets boring after an hour or so. The other reason this is dumb is that players running this game at 300 FPS with 244Hz monitors are going to have a way bigger advantage over console kids than the advantage someone may have because of their input device. Most importantly, it is 343's job to balance the gameplay so that both input devices are viable. Advantages and disadvantages to each input, and you just have to know how to play with your preferred input. 343 dropped the ball with balancing the input devices on MCC PC, but those were old games being brought to PC for the first time. Halo Infinite is being built from the ground up for PC, as they repeatedly explain in this blog. I would at the very least like to see this being an option to enable or disable and give the players the choice. Sorry for that little tangent on input-based matchmaking. The point of this video was the 1 to 50 ranking system not making it into Halo Infinite, but I figured I'd throw my thoughts in there since it was also included in Inside Infinite. But I want to know what you guys think about the 1 to 50 ranking system. Did you want to see 1 to 50 return like I did? Or is TrueSkill 2 just objectively better? Personally, it makes a lot of sense for them to continue with TrueSkill 2 and hopefully improve it for Halo Infinite. But man, would it feel nice getting that 50. Regardless of if it's for better or worse, it seems like we'll never be getting another 1 to 50 ranking system in Halo. And for that, I'm pouring one out. Until next time. Later.